Hey friends, welcome to Tiger Talk Thursday. So we have tried to go live a couple times. No, with Sasha, NCAA volleyball star who's in San Diego. We got a little bit of a time difference. Just give us a sec. We're trying to go live here for episode 17. I cannot believe it. We just started these conversations last month, and I'd love to take a moment and thank all the athletes who have said yes without hesitation to contribute to the conversation around transitioning to life after sports. So hang tight. We are going to call her in a second here. So it just takes a moment. So I appreciate your patience. We will figure it out. For those of you that are new to the series, the vision and the mission is to help those suffering in silence. When we transition from anything that we love in life, right? There's always going to be that void, that grief period, that identity crisis, wondering what's next for us. So it's a normal part of the human process, and it's great to hear these athletes' experiences and how they're navigating their own challenges, wondering what's next for them and how they've gone through that. So hang tight. Just waiting to see Sasha. I'm going to add her. Oh, look. All right. It's just adding Sasha to the call. Hang tight.
Here,
We did it.
we did. Okay, hold on. We did it. Let me try to, let me see if I could switch to my laptop. No, I don't think I can.
So I can see like half there. Whatever you're looking in right now is the camera. That's perfect right
Okay.
there. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Okay, while you're adjusting your camera, I'm going to quickly do an intro, guys. Her bio is going to be posted with this conversation, so you can read it all in depth. She's a phenomenal athlete. Actually, even having gone to university with Sasha, when I read her bio, I learned some new information. She was born and raised in the Bronx in New York to a Dominican-born mother and Jamaican-born father. Her parents sent her and her brothers to high school in Connecticut, where she was a not one, three sport varsity athlete who excelled in volleyball, basketball, and softball, earning MVP honors in all three sports as well as the captain title. Not surprised at all. In her senior year, she was selected as an all-state player in all three sports, a first for anyone at her high school. So she went on to pursue her passion in marine biology at the University of New Hampshire, where I played ice hockey, she played volleyball. And as a result of her strong work ethic and unwavering dedication, she earned a full ride scholarship by the end of her freshman year. Guys, this is phenomenal for those of you aspiring athletes out there. She went on to earn her master's degree in secondary education, and she's now moved across country to San Diego, California to teach high school biology. Where she kept her passion for athletics alive by coaching volleyball, basketball, softball, all these things, and then now becoming an assistant principal at the high school. Her mission is to continue to make a positive difference in the lives of today's youth while empowering young girls to be the best versions of themselves. Read it. Read it in full. She's an amazing human. I know people just want to jump into the conversation, so I will get rid of the bio and we will get in. Welcome, my friend.
Hi, Janine. How are you?
Oh my God. I feel like I know we went to university, what, 20 years ago? We were, I know, and you look the exact same.
So do you.
One thing that I always admired about you was your work ethic and your drive, and you always had a smile on your face. You were always positive, always full energy. So let's go. I want to kind of go back to your experience as an athlete, and then what the transition has been like for you. So, were you always just this natural born leader, high energy as a young athlete? I mean, it seems like it based on your bio, but just tell us about that, and then kind of where life kind of threw a wrench in your journey when you were like, oh, I guess what's next for me?
Yeah, I think my whole life I've just been naturally drawn to leadership and to teams and just being an integral part of a unit. And so just through all the sports I played, just finding ways to motivate my teammates and, achieve the goal, whatever the goal was for that game. And that kind of went through high school and then later through college, and then, post-college, it's like, oh, wow, so I'm not working out 4 or 5 hours a day.
I know. I guess I can't eat everything that I used to. I feel one of the big transitions that I'm really noticing with athletes is not only do we identify with our sports, but we identify with the physical body that we had when we were athletic. And there's a transformation that takes place when you're not doing all the reps and hours, right? But you're still eating and consuming the same amount of calories. Did you experience any of that?
Absolutely. It was, I was blessed that, I had great muscle composition, and, I was able to work out and eat whatever I wanted and never saw.
You had a six pack. I remember that six pack.
Never saw any impact. And then post college, it was like, oh, I can't eat all that food anymore. And so it was definitely a transition.
Yeah, for sure. Where would you say, so after you graduated and playing volleyball, what was next for you? Obviously you went into teaching and all this stuff and moved across to San Diego, but did you experience any type of missing of the sport, the team atmosphere? Did you do anything on the side to kind of still get that same feeling, or what were you doing?
Yeah, absolutely. I still, to this day, I've never put the ball down per se. I've played in adult leagues for volleyball, for basketball, co-ed leagues for softball, just always trying to find something to stay involved with sports. To me, that's my release. That's my joy still. So even co-ed flag football, just doing a bunch of different adult leagues just to stay engaged, stay in shape, and keep that passion alive. So I definitely jumped right into that post-college, and that kind of quenched my thirst for wanting to have some sort of, outlet for athletics. So, as I'm getting a little older, things start to hurt a little bit more. So I'm not playing as many sports as I used to, but definitely still lives inside, and I try as many times as I can. Of course, being in San Diego, dabbled in some beach volleyball, and you really, especially during COVID, I really hit that up a lot because everywhere was closed, but the beaches weren't. So, well, the courts weren't. So my bunch of my California girlfriends and I just went out to the beach and played all through COVID just to try to stay in shape and get that little release that we were so desperately needing.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, again, you are someone who's naturally happy by nature. What do you do? A lot of the time I like to ask people about what they do that we can't Google online or we can't find anywhere. What do you do to mentally prep yourself? You're very resilient, and I know we've talked about over the course of the years on different life experiences that we've had and navigating that together. But what do you do to keep yourself grounded in a growth mindset and resilient? What are some of your little hacks that maybe you can teach some young athletes who are navigating some challenges?
Yeah. Well, you know what? One of the things that I found have always helped me through my youth and also now in adulthood is music. I really love finding music that speaks to me in the moment for whatever emotions that I'm feeling. If it's a game, it's, songs to hype me up and get me stoked for the game. If it's, I'm having a rough time and I just need a little Adele or something just to kind of, so just really, that's one of the ways I get myself mentally right or in the right mind frame is finding music, listening, putting on a song and just, jamming out or just letting the music, play and that really helps me either shift my mindset or continue, hype me up for the next thing.
Yeah, no, music and movement is actually proven as a great state changer. So you're right on. Do you write, or do you do any, are you into any type of you journal? Do you do anything for mindset or?
I don't journal. I do meditate sometimes and try to find, you know, when I'm not listening to music, I just try to find some space. I love the ocean and the sound of
Oh
the
yeah.
ocean.
Yeah.
And so that's my calm. That's my peace. So, you know, when times get tough, I just drive out to the ocean and just sit there and kind of just soak it in and let the sounds of the waves and the wind just kind of overtake me. You know, and now with kids, you know, it's a little harder, but I bring them to the ocean and we just, you know, walk the beach and that really is a wonderful grounding for me as well.
I know. Congrats, mama of two now.
I know.
And now you're in the driver's seat as a principal or assistant principal? Principal
I'm a
or assistant?
principal now. Yes.
Okay, yeah, I thought so. So now you're mentoring up and coming, whether they be students or athletes, the same. Once a child's a child,
Yes.
right? And I
Yes.
talk a lot about like your external words that you hear in your environment become your internal words. So what are you seeing in the schools that kids could really benefit from? Or what's a concept that you're like, man, obviously self-belief and confidence is huge for children. I mean, if that's the number one role as a parent, I always tell my children, you know, you got to believe in yourself. But what are you seeing on that end as a principal that, man, I wish the youth of today would really get this? Or where are you seeing a gap that we could maybe pour sprinkle some kindness and belief into these kids? What are you seeing?
Yeah. Well, you know, this is, I've done 18 years at the high school level, and this past year was my first year at the middle school level. My school is 7th and 8th graders. So we got 12, 13, 14-year-olds, which was a huge transition from high school kids. And really what I see a lot with these students is, like you said, that lack of confidence, you know, something that we didn't grow up with that is all in their face, social media.
Yeah.
And they care so much about what other people think about them. And I really try in all my, you know, dealings with my students is really try to get across to them, you know, about self-empowerment and, you know, you and your family, that's all who you need to worry about. And, but it's really hard for a 12 or 13-year-old to comprehend that. And so I see, you know, how much social media really tears down a lot of kids, and how sometimes kids can be cruel. And
I know.
I think, of course, you know, everybody says it, but it's an obvious, the COVID pandemic really took a toll on that, right? Because now they're home alone or all day on the computer or on their phones, and they're hiding behind a screen, and they can do and say things that maybe they wouldn't have done earlier. And so that really, I feel, set our kids back a little too. So we're still trying to grow out. I mean, we're 3 years out now, but we're still trying to grow out of that, you know, that effect. And I think, you know, my role as an educator is to try my best to empower them and give them the confidence and remind them that they are beautiful and that they are strong. And one of my biggest missions here at my school is to connect kids to something, whether that's the after school program, sports, music, whatever it is. I just know how crucial it was for me and my brothers doing activities and being connected to my school in some sort of way, and what that did for me in my life, that I really try to push that, encourage our students to do that, or find whatever it is that speaks to them, to connect them to school, you know, and then it gets them off the streets, it gets them, you know, in the right mind frame. And even when they're on the teams, I'm a big supporter of athletics, as you know, so I'm at all the games, I'm cheering on the sidelines, and sometimes, you know, on the bench, you know. But I try, you know, to really hype them up and really give them the confidence that they deserve and that they need to really continue to grow. They're so young at this age and so impressionable, and so it's really been an interesting transition to deal with this age, and not really, you know, really reminding myself that they're growing up in a much different time than we do.
And it's tough. It's very tough because they're like, my friends all haven't done that. But my children are 8 and 9. And then my bonus child, my stepson, Logan, he's 18. I've told my 8 and 9-year-old, sorry, you're not getting a cell phone until you're 16 or 18. You're going to hate me, but
Yep.
I am doing this for your mind. And honestly, I know it's the way the world communicates, but almost every athlete that I have had on here, like Mark Mathot was on Tuesday, and he played in the NHL for 13 years. And now when you go into in the arena, obviously you can't take someone's phone away. It's a violation of their human rights, but like it has to be in the locker and it's not allowed. Why do schools allow kids to have, I don't know if they have them in the States, but in here, like kids are allowed to bring their electronics into the classroom. Why can we not just say no to that? It blows my mind.
Yeah.
Because it's not fair. It's not fair to the teacher. You spend half your time just telling kids to get off their devices instead of being able to teach, right? So do you know why we can't just like say no Wi-Fi in the school? I guess you can't teach that way.
I know, put a blocker over the school so that they're, I know, that's a hot topic in schools, even in the States, like you said, in Canada, they allow them. Here it's kind of split. Some schools, middle schools and elementary, but probably, high schools, it's a lost cause. It's hard to fight kids, teenagers bringing phones. So, but I do know some middle schools in my district, there's a couple who do the no phone thing. And, for my school, our rule is passing period, lunch, nutrition break, before school, after school, have fun. That's your time. In the classroom, phones are in your backpack, phones are off, period.
Yeah.
It gets caught, you get caught with it, we take it. For me, in my team, when we were deciding about, do we want to do phones, no phones? Because you're right, it's a distraction. It's a whole nother thing. And kids are so addicted to phones that it's hard, for them to pull away. But for our team, we decided, we didn't want to be walking around campus every 30 seconds being, put your phone away, put your phone away, put your phone away, put your phone away. And I turn around and they take it out. And then, that was a battle that I wasn't really willing to take. And one of the things I brought up to the staff and to my admin team was like, look, guys, like I mentioned earlier, this is the world that our kids are living in now, phones. Yeah. We didn't have that when we were growing up, but this is their reality. So we can either fight it or we can come up with a compromise like, look, in the classroom, there's no phones. Outside of the classroom, you can use your phone. And so we decided to go that route. And for the most part, it works pretty well. Of course, we have to, remind here and there. But for me, that's a battle I'm willing to fight versus a no phone battle. And then it's just chaos.
I am very happy that cell phones were not around when we were at UNH. Thank the Lord.
Yes, so am I.
I know. Well, and then just kind of back onto the life after sports, and phones come up though in every conversation. It's kind of interesting that we go down because it is the world we live in, and mental health and emotional health, and we're hearing more and more about it. What advice would you give your younger self if you could do it all over again, knowing the path that you've been on, as positive and as great as was? And I know you've gone through some hardship because we've talked about it off camera. Yeah. What would you tell your younger self that you wish you knew back then?
I think one of the biggest things when we were when in college and, I was blessed to have the opportunity to play for UNH. We went on some amazing trips. We did a European tour. We did all these things. I wish I would tell my younger self, be present in the moment and enjoy it. I think while I appreciate it and I was super grateful, I think because we're young, we didn't really appreciate, or I don't know, I speak for myself. I don't know that I soaked in the moment as much as I should have, and now looking back, I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been to, 40 states, 6 countries, like all these things I did with my college volleyball team. What an amazing opportunity. I know. And if I go back and tell my younger self, I'd say, Sasha, wake up, open your eyes, enjoy this. You are so blessed. This is such an amazing opportunity that not everyone gets. So try to still get in as much as possible. Take more pictures on our old school camera. Take more pictures and really soak in that moment.
Well, I love that. And when I coach athletes, like I do a lot of coaching now on, I've transitioned. I used to have my fitness studio for 7 years, and now I'm more speaking and mentoring and coaching. But a little tip that comes up for me when you're saying that. So I hear that a lot from my clients, like, how do I be present? So if anyone's watching, a little tip that's working is it's great to have a vision. A vision pulls you forward. You can't focus on the past. We got to let go. That's not happening. But if you're feeling anxious in that, write it down, get clear on your goals. Do a little bit every day so that you show up for yourself, but then go live your life. Because a lot of times we get stuck in the heavy emotions, and then we're like, oh, I need to be here. I'm not going to be happy until da da da. And then next thing you know, 10 years have passed and you're where you got to, but you didn't appreciate the 10 that were there. So the journaling part for me is huge with my clients because it allows you to stay present. You put your work in, you outlined your vision, you know you did that, you've learned something new. Okay, now I'm just going to go like for now I got to go be a parent, I got to be a mom, I got to do this. But it's easy to get stuck in the emotions of feeling this need to be something, or like I think about our age today, what's happening with a lot of the athletes that I'm talking to now. They're like, oh, I thought I'd be further along in my life. I'm 40, like I'm 41, my husband's 49, he'll be 50 next year. And you know, like you're seeing different people have different ups and downs in their lives, and what their experience is like. Don't compare yourself to anyone. I'm sure you get that. That's the thing with social media, right? The comparison.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. No, I love that idea, Janine, about journaling and, you know, putting those thoughts right there and then on the paper, and then being able to be present where you are. I love that idea. But yeah, exactly. That's a big thing. Try not to compare yourself to, you know, and like you said, we've been through our own journeys and ups and downs, and look at us now, you know, successful and strong. I am grateful for all the trials and tribulations that I went through because it made me stronger. And you know, maybe in the moment I was like, what?
Hey man, I got it. I got you covered.
Exactly.
I've been through a lot. And I think a lot of parts too, I wish more people would forgive themselves. Like I have definitely done things that I am like, oh my goodness, how did I show up like that? It's mortifying, but you know what? Moving on. You can't change it. I can't self-loathe for only so long, and you're in this like deep level of despair. But have I embarrassed myself? Absolutely. Have I said stuff that I wish I didn't say? Absolutely. But you know what? You learn and grow, and if you're in that growth mindset, that's what kind of like sets you free. So I so appreciate your input today. I love seeing your beautiful face. You still have that big, beautiful smile. I'm coming to San Diego one of these days.
You owe me a San Diego trip.
I know. I'll come speak at your school. Let's set that up.
Yes,
Perfect. But thank you so much. Is there anything left on your heart that maybe you're like, I wish I didn't ask, or you wish you could have, like on the whole topic of life after sports, that maybe you would love to tell a younger up and coming athlete, or somebody who has left due to injury or unforeseen circumstances and now they're struggling with the immediate, it's like immediate chop, right? When they've gone through that. Do you have any last words you'd like to give them?
You know, I just think athletes just have such a special drive and such a special, you know, quality or multiple qualities inside that no matter what the obstacle we're given, I think it's important to just keep that mindset of like, you know, the game or the goal. You know, you get injured. Yeah, you're maybe not operating at 100% anymore, but just remember, do your PT, do your whatever you need to do to get back to the goal. And just never giving up. Grit, you know, is something I really try to push to my students all the time. Resilience, like you said, and grit, just never giving up. When something knocks you down, get back up and keep fighting. And I think a lot of that mentality, I think my coaches and my teammates and my experience as an athlete because that's what helps me remember that. So the only bit I would say is when you're feeling, you know, things aren't going the way you want it to, or your athletic path is not the trajectory you wanted it to go, never give up, keep trying, keep working hard. Good things will happen.
Yes, I love that. Well, you heard it from Sasha Scott, folks, 3-time athlete. I had no idea that there was it basketball and softball?
Volleyball, basketball, softball, yeah.
Crazy. What position did you play in basketball?
Basketball, believe it or not, in high school I was a center because I could jump, but I'm like 5'7".
What? And softball, what position did you play?
Softball, or center field and catcher.
Love it. Of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
What else can you do? I'm sure there's something else that's in there. Well, it was so nice to see your beautiful face. I love your energy. We'll catch up again offline, but thank you so much for joining us and contributing to this very important series of transitioning to life after sports. And we will see you soon.
Thank you so much, Janine, for having me. Thank you. So good to see your beautiful face, and keep doing this great work. Our kids need it, so keep it up.
Thank you, my friend.
All right,
All right, we'll talk to you soon.
All right,
Bye.
take care. Bye-bye.